welcome to Conor and Josh Cinematic Invasion.
Ah! Oh, yeah!
Today we're going to discuss Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, smack dab in the mid-'80s. I don't know what year it was made, so...
Oh my god! This acid trip of a movie. No idea what I was getting in for. Josh, you have this on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And you've been trying to get me to watch it for a while.
I used to watch this, like, when I was a kid, you know, so, like, it's like... Well, when I was, very young, I was like, oh, yeah, this is a normal movie. And then, like, once I watch it now, I'm like, wow, this is, like...
This is strange.
This is just an acid trip, as
yeah.
you put it. You know?
Yes, it is.
This is a good movie to, like, pre-game or, like, get, like, pretty, get
some sort of
to.
substance
Yeah.
involved with this movie will help your brain process what it's seeing a little easier. Mm-hmm. Help things make more sense.
I had the luxury of seeing this movie before of Michael Jackson's passing, so it's a little different context now. It's almost like Back to the Future 2 once you see it.
Yeah.
After 2015, it's like a different feel, so I wanted to get your perspective on that. Like,
I'm sure I did mention to you initially after we watched it that it was an interesting watch post-mortem for Michael Jackson, because it's almost like a mausoleum to himself. It really is. I almost watched it as a tribute because it is the way it's shot. The way it's shot, the way it
goes through his whole life. Basically his catalog up to that date.
Yeah, the whole thing is one big tribute to Michael Jackson by Michael Jackson, and it's almost like he's trying to tell us something years and years later, with one of those big artist conspiracies, like Michael Jackson sent us a message from the past about to remember him after he dies.
Basically, this could have been playing at his funeral. Like it almost catalogs his whole life. I mean, up to this is when he was making Bad. He was on tour at the same time they were filming this movie, which I have no idea how he even possibly did that.
A stellar amount of work. Well, I know how he did it. Because his father taught him to function without sleep for days at a time. This
movie, it just basically just screams 80s at you.
Yeah,
You just watch it. There's the Will Vinton claymation who did he did the California Raisins and all that, and the Noid, which makes a cameo, and the weird claymation experience. I mean, it starts out with Michael Jackson performing Man in the Mirror live concert. And, like, you just really get the scope of, like, this was, like, Michael Jackson's heyday. This is when, like, people basically viewed him as
filled
God.
Coliseums. Yeah, the king of pop.
Yeah.
Filled Coliseums for him. People would pass out just screaming for him before he even comes on stage.
Yeah, it's, like, crazy. And, like, you see him singing this song, and then he shows all these clips of all these historic figures, like Ronald Reagan and then like Gandhi and then John Lennon at one point.
Interesting juxtaposition.
Yeah, they're like, they all approve of Michael Jackson's message.
So there you go.
Well, the beginning is basically just like a montage of a bunch of stuff. And,
beautifully done music videos.
Yeah, it's like basically just like snippets of different songs, and then eventually.
It leads into the bad music video.
Yes.
Which is done entirely by children who absolutely nail it, by the way.
Yeah, no, they really do. That kid looks like a little Michael Jackson.
He does look like a tiny little Mac.
I wonder what he looks like now.
I bet I don't know.
Do you think he's a Michael Jackson?
That kid, you know who that kid is today? I'll tell you. Bruno Mars.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I don't know.
He is.
Yeah.
It's confirmed here. You heard it here first.
You heard it. Totally guessed. Definitely confirmed.
I mean, well, going back to the bad music video, the original is directed by Martin Scorsese, which highly. I'm
sure he wasn't on set.
No, he didn't direct this version.
They shot him a parcel because that's how people talked back then.
But so it starts out with this is like when like the meat of the movie kind of starts. It starts out with them being kids, and then like
that's when it sort of transitions into more of a film.
Yeah, and like more of a linear kind of story, and then they they like
the kids
transform into their adult selves, like within movie magic, I guess.
Yeah.
And then this is when you get all these demonic claymation characters trying to eat Michael Jackson, basically.
Yes. Again, very well executed. I mean, in the context, they're absolute nightmare fuel. But I mean, the creases, it's just the smoothness of the motion. It's all there.
It's just, this movie's like a dive into Michael Jackson's psyche,
at least at the time.
Is. And it's like, it kind of opens your eyes. You're like, whoa, you know, like
Good Lord.
I couldn't even imagine being Michael Jackson for even 1 minute.
Remember when Charlie Sheen said, "Borrow my brain," and be like, "Dude can't handle it"? I don't think it could handle Michael Jackson's brain.
No. Just thinking of going outside and literally a parade of people just surrounding you. It's just like literally every waking moment, and like there's more context to like who's watching me and that kind of stuff. You know, he's probably just like, you know, paranoid of all these people, and like
a lot. It's a lot of subtle messages about what he was going through at the time. And again, seeing it post-mortem, you know, you feel for it.
Yeah, that's true. And like,
an easy.
You almost see how he views some of his fans,
which is extra funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some of these people, they do exist, you know, but I don't think that's...
So the super fans that are chasing him down about halfway through the movie are giant caricatures of, like, you know, how Americans are depicted in European political cartoons. Just these two fat dudes with, like, a bunch of logos on them, on rascal scooters, sunglasses, just
and then right before that, like, the Statue of Liberty talks to Michael Jackson for 1 second. It's literally like, if you're explaining this to, like, a sane person, you're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
It's just, Michael Jackson finally got the chance to execute on some of his crazy desires.
That's true.
Like, there's the rumor that Michael Jackson wanted to buy Marvel Studios so he could play Spider-Man in the movies, and he almost did it. Because he could just throw money at things until what he wants happens.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, going into that, there was like a rumor that he bought the Elephant Man's bones, and it showed in the music video.
The dancing bones.
Yeah, and he's dancing with the Elephant Man's bones
and
everything, and like he's basically a giant amusement park for everyone, and like
it's like, oh wow,
you like really dive deep.
I get it. Like he's a commodity. We made him a commodity.
That's all people view him as. It's just like just that as this like entertainment.
It's Michael Jackson's art piece.
Yeah, it really
is. Underneath the absolute insanity on the surface, there's a story there with some heart.
There's definitely some context. Yeah. I mean, probably
the cries for help of a tortured artist.
I would say the "Leave Me Alone" music video is probably the best executed part of the whole experience.
I know. What was your favorite part as a child?
Well, actually, my favorite part was the speed demon part.
Oh yeah, right.
When he turns into a rabbit, which we
for some reason.
And then he dances with himself.
Which must have been unbelievably difficult to animate and edit and all that. But it happened. Again,
and then,
stacks off the pile.
And after those like pieces of music video, this is when we get to like the actual meat of the
the actual story, the conflict.
Right, where Michael Jackson's playing with children
on like the hills from Sound of Music. And they stumble upon
the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. the evil future temple lair of
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
I think he owed him a favor or something like that.
And you're watching this, but you're watching all this, and like the production value is amazing. You got like so many like goons, like generic goons. The sets are like huge and vibrant. It looks like any other. It looks like Demolition Man or something like that.
Exactly. It looks like
it's like a real movie. It's a real movie.
Yeah, and apparently I saw like an interview of one of the producers or something. He's like, there's as many special effects as in this one like 30. Not even in the whole movie. In this 30-minute like short film, as many special effects in that segment as fucking Star Wars. Which is insane, and I can totally believe it.
No, after seeing this, there was a lot of. There was the one part where he turns into a robot and then turns into a spaceship. Why did he turn into a robot? I don't know.
No, well, he turned into a robot with the power
to use his guns. To shoot the bad guys.
Yeah, and the way he turns into a robot is because his lucky star.
Oh, that's true. Every time there's a couple of shooting stars, he makes wishes on them, and then things happen.
And then he turns into a car.
Yeah,
and a mega Michael Jackson. And there's a game based on this this part of the movie, which was Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Of course, of the same name.
For Sega Genesis, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And it's basically, I mean, you do, I guess in the game, if you catch the lucky star, you turn into Mega Michael Jackson.
That's a nice little Easter egg.
So, but definitely the best part of that whole segment is the Smooth Criminal music video.
Oh, yeah, when they go into the club.
I think this version is far superior than the music video version because the music video version, they speed up the footage. It's all like motion blur, and it's not nearly as appealing as, you know, this well shot and well executed. It's just like...
Again, Michael Jackson's chance to do what he wanted.
Yeah, I don't understand why there's a difference between this version and the music video version. It's just like literally they speed up the footage and just everything's just motion blur and you can barely tell what's happening. This movie, well, so he's trying to run away from Joe Pesci,
right?
And
as we all
he's hanging out with these kids, and one of them is Sean Lennon, which is John Lennon's son.
Fitting image of the guy.
Yeah, I feel like he's the only kid who has the intuition to go like, I'm gonna call the cops, you know.
Yeah.
And like, he's the only one who says anything like that. Actually, speaks some intelligence. You know?
Most of it is just the little urchins running around on rooftops because I guess their life is terrible now for some reason.
Yeah, it's like I don't.
And it all seems to be because Michael Jackson abandoned them or something.
Michael Jackson,
or maybe
Michael Jackson had to run away because Joe Pesci was trying to shoot him, and then it seems like this. I mean, this is beautifully shot, and I love that shot with the silhouette when he's running from the dogs with the spotlight behind.
Right.
That looked awesome.
Excellently shot.
And this movie was pretty hard to find, at least for me. On Blu-ray, I found like one version. It was like on DVD, and it was like in Chinese, and I don't even think it could like play on like our region's DVD players. So like for me to actually have a Blu-ray and have it play, I was like, wow, this is a miracle. You know. And then so it ends with Michael Jackson flying away not in a spaceship, as a spaceship. And the little girl, who's like, I guess Michael Jackson's favorite out of the kids.
They hung out the most.
She's crying, and like she's
leaving.
She knows that he's leaving. I'm like, why is he leaving? Where is he going?
He has to return to his planet.
Yeah, he goes to Michael Jackson planet just to be.
Well, he tries to anyway.
Back in the next scene.
Well, I think that's what happened. He was trying to return to the same planet that Prince and David Bowie came from, but he was intercepted by one of his magic wishing stars, and so he just explodes in front of all the kids, which must be horrifying for them, that their Lord and Savior, after doing all this, just dies like that. And then the next thing, he's just on Earth back in his human form. So my theory is, like, yeah, he got struck by the meteor, and now he can't return for another 50 trine until his wishing stars return to orbit.
Yeah, and then he just shows up in the very next scene to perform. Right before the performance, he takes them to like this weird alley, like this weird like backstage, like with all these rats and everything.
Oh, like right, yeah. And then with the power of music, he makes it beautiful.
Yeah, and he plays Dirty Diana. No. He plays Come Together.
Yeah.
He does Come Together.
Oh, yeah! That was awesome.
Yeah. And then you see the kids for one shot, and then the movie's over.
They're not even in the same shot.
No.
They just edited that in later. They're just like, wow, that cool stuff happening over there. Cut back to it.
So you remember the kids were in the movie.
Yeah.
And the whole reason because of this fiasco is because their stupid dog ran away. Skipper. That's the reason why Joe Pesci wanted to kill him, because they're trying to find the dog. Yeah. And then they get the dog at the end.
Well, they still had to stop Joe Pesci, because he was the worst villain of all.
That was because he wanted every kid to take drugs.
Yeah. They really were trying to hammer in this is a villain.
Frankie DeLeo.
Yeah. Make sure my name is on it. He wants people to know.
He's going to be in the history books.
Yeah.
It seems like a dystopian, like, future past. I don't even know
what it was. Except nothing was trash. Yeah. Just no one was hanging out on the streets.
No one was around besides Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Maybe they cleared out the area that the town with evacuated.
It was just such like ridiculous evil for the sake of being evil. Like you could tell he was making all these drugs at a major loss. Like he wasn't making any money from this. He just, for fuck's sake, his whole organization was underground in an abandoned nuclear shelter or whatever.
Yeah, and it's some raiders basically set.
Yeah.
Well, I give this movie a 10 out of 10.
I'll give it 1 out of 2 white gloves.
shimmer.
It's a fun movie to watch.
It's definitely a fun movie, and like
it's not exactly Citizen Kane.
No, it's a good movie to watch. If like before you're going out to a party or something, or if you're at a party, it's a good movie to have in the background because you're like, what?
Yeah, you can just tune in at any moment and see something that makes you go,
what? And on that note, this is BatYard Productions, and please comment down below if you have seen Moonwalker, and if you...
Because if you have, you are not alone. Your burgers are the best. Alright, we're gonna get struck. Cancelled!
Oh, thunderstruck. Wait,
Stop it, you're only making it worse.
It's not Michael Jackson. I'm sorry.